Did you know that not all foods need to be refrigerated? In fact, some foods can lose their flavor, texture, and freshness when kept in the cold. Today we're peeling back the layers on this fascinating topic. We'll be exploring 10 foods that are actually better off outside the fridge. From tomatoes to melons, discover how proper storage can enhance your culinary delights. So, get ready to rethink your food storage habits. Let's embark on this flavorful journey together. First on the list are tomatoes. When refrigerated, tomatoes can lose their flavor and turn mealy due to the cold temperatures affecting their ripening process. So, what's the best way to keep these juicy gems fresh and tasty? Simple. Store them at room temperature, preferably in a single layer, away from direct sunlight. This way they can continue to ripen naturally, preserving all their deliciousness. Now let's move on to the humble potato. Cold temperatures can turn the starch in potatoes into sugar more rapidly, messing with their taste and texture. So, to keep your potatoes in prime condition, store them in a cool, dark place. A pantry or a dark cupboard works wonders. This keeps them firm and flavorful, ready for your next culinary adventure. In essence, both tomatoes and potatoes prefer a cozy room temperature environment to the chill of the fridge. So, tomatoes and potatoes are definitely happier outside your fridge. Moving on to onions. You might be surprised to learn that onions can become soft and moldy when refrigerated. Yes, you heard it right. Rather than chilling them, it's best to store onions in a cool, dry, and well-ventilated area, away from direct sunlight. This helps maintain their firmness and flavor while preventing the growth of mold. Now let's talk about garlic, another kitchen staple. Refrigeration can cause garlic to sprout more quickly and lose its flavor. Have you ever noticed how a clove of garlic stored in the fridge seems to sprout those green shoots faster? That's because the cold temperature actually accelerates the sprouting process. And the flavor? Well, it's not as robust as it should be. So, like onions, garlic should be stored in a cool, dry place with good air circulation. This helps preserve its strong, pungent flavor that we all love in our dishes. So, onions and garlic should also be kept in a cool, dry place. Now let's talk about avocados. Refrigerating avocados can delay their ripening process and cause them to become hard and unripe. Instead, keep them at room temperature until they are perfectly ripe, and then, if you must, move them to the fridge. Now, on to bananas. Cold temperatures can cause the skin of bananas to darken and turn mushy. To avoid this, keep your bananas at room temperature until they reach the desired ripeness. If you want to prolong their shelf life, then and only then should you consider refrigerating them. Finally, let's talk about bread. Refrigerating bread can cause it to dry out and become stale more quickly. A cool, dry place is the ideal storage spot for your loaves. If you need to keep it longer, consider freezing it instead. Remember, avocados, bananas, and bread are better off outside your fridge. Lastly, we have honey, coffee, and melons. Honey does not spoil and can crystallize when refrigerated. This sweet nectar of the bees is best kept at room temperature in a sealed container. That way you can enjoy its velvety texture and rich flavors without any interruption. Moving on to coffee, the moisture in the refrigerator can tamper with the flavor and aroma of your beloved brew. Whether you're a fan of coffee beans or ground coffee, it's best to store them in an airtight container in a cool, dark place. This keeps your morning cup of joe fresh and aromatic. Now let's talk about melons. While they might seem like a good candidate for the fridge, refrigeration can actually make them less sweet and more mushy. To preserve their delightful flavors and textures, keep melons at room temperature until they are ripe. After cutting, any leftover portions can be refrigerated. So honey, coffee, and melons should also stay out of the fridge. And there you have it, 10 foods that are better off outside the refrigerator. From tomatoes and potatoes, onions and garlic, to avocados, bananas, bread, honey, coffee, and melons, these everyday items thrive outside the chilly confines of the fridge. Proper storage not only preserves their quality but also enhances their flavor, texture, and overall appeal. Remember, it's not just about longevity, it's about enjoying your food at its prime. By storing these foods properly, you can help preserve their quality and enjoy them at their best. Thanks for watching.